Writing a book while working a full-time 9 to 5 is no easy task. I would know. I've now written 10, nearly 11, and published 9 since I started writing and publishing in 2019. It requires consistency, dedication, a lot of self-belief, and more than a little stubbornness. As I near the end of the first draft of my current romance novel project, I thought I'd share my current weekly writing routine. I hope you enjoy. Mondays are a work from home day. This particular Monday was a little out of the usual because my apartment complex had scheduled fireplace cleaning for this day. Once that was done, I had to vacuum and then put my living room back together. But other than that, the day was filled with lots of grading, emails, and other teaching admin. Oh, if you're new here, hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a full-time university writing instructor. This would be a good time to give a bit of extra context for my job. My schedule is pretty flexible, but it does change every few months. This semester, I'm teaching on campus 2 days a week. The rest of the time, I work from home. Other than classes and office hours, I don't stick to a strict schedule. As long as I work my 40-ish hours and get all of my work done, I can arrange my schedule how I want, which is definitely a huge help. Most days I can wrap up work around 4 p.m., especially if I start a little early or eat lunch at my desk, or both. I like writing in the early mornings or late afternoons when my brain is a little fuzzy and tired. I find that bit of brain fatigue keeps me from second guessing what I'm writing and keeps the perfectionism at bay, at least a little bit. At the start of the week, I was working on chapter 22, and I was really hoping to finish it and move on to chapter 23 today. I also decided to write on my couch. I was a bit tired of my desk by this point in the day. After a long day of teaching work, it was nice to sit on the couch and escape to London, where this book is set. I did manage to finish chapter 22 and move on to chapter 23, which was great. Just a couple chapters left to this book. On Monday, I was really hoping that I might be able to finish the first draft by Friday. Spoiler, I did not. So stay tuned to a future video. But I did get over 1,400 words written today, which felt like a great start for Monday. On Tuesday, I have the mornings to myself. I started with doing some vlog editing for the vlog that needed to go up the next day. Then I got cozy on the couch and wrote for about 30 minutes. I set a timer so that I wouldn't lose track of time, but I definitely wrote a little past when the timer went off. I'm loving writing in the early morning before the sun comes up. It's just going to get better over the next couple of months as the sun comes up a little later each morning. I love watching the morning light start to filter through the window. There's something so inspiring about writing during the cozy, calm, peaceful mornings. It's impossible to wake up early enough to do this in the summer, so this is one of the things I look forward to most about autumn. After writing about 783 words, it was time for breakfast. I've become obsessed with oatmeal. I've tried it a few times in the past, but other people always made it for me, and I hated it. It's a texture thing. I decided to try it myself, and I finally cracked the code on how I like it. Still a bit firm, with lots of pecans and walnuts, plus a bit of maple syrup and lots of full spices. On teaching days, I don't get a lot of writing done, and this is the first semester that I've actually managed to consistently incorporate writing into one of my campus days. So 700 words isn't a lot for me, but it is a lot for a day where I have to go to campus. The rest of the morning is usually spent eating breakfast and watching YouTube and just keeping my brain calm and not thinking too much. Then it's time to pack my bag and head to campus. On Tuesdays, I have office hours in my physical office space, so this time is spent planning, grading, replying to emails, and chatting with my colleagues. It's a good time to bounce ideas for projects and lessons or get advice about things that are happening in the classroom. The 2 hours tends to go by pretty fast. On this day, I had a bit of extra time between office hours and teaching, so I did some handwriting for chapter 23 in my brain dump journal. I did this a couple weeks ago and it ended up being really productive, so I thought I'd give it another try. It's hard to bring my laptop with me when I go out unless I'm specifically planning to go write somewhere, but my journal can travel easily. So what I do is I copy the previous paragraph I've written in Scrivener, as well as the remainder of my outline for the chapter that I'm working on, into a note in my Notes app so that I can refer to that while I'm handwriting. So that lets me know where I'm at in the story and where I'm going. Eventually, it was time to teach. The weather is still warm, but it's a lot nicer than it was a month ago. So walking to class actually feels really nice right now. This semester, I'm teaching a condensed session, so I'm teaching a 15-week course in 7.5 weeks. This means each class session is nearly 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. I taught one of these classes in the first half of the semester, and then that ended and the second one started just a few weeks ago. As hard as it might be to believe, though, the 2 hours and 45 minutes do go by really fast. These students have just been so much fun to work with. Once class is done, it's time to go home and relax. Wednesday is my midweek chance to take a deep breath. I try to start the day with a sunrise hike. On this day, I was feeling pretty good, so I managed almost 2 miles, 1.8, I think, which isn't much for some, but as someone with a chronic illness who honestly wasn't able to hike at all for almost 4 years, I am grateful for every mile I can get out here. The weather has been so nice in the mornings, and because of all the rain we've had lately, the desert is much greener than normal for this time of year. And this might not look that green for some of you, but for us, this is really green. It usually doesn't start getting this green again until December, so I am just loving these autumn hikes right now. This one was a little less peaceful at the end, thanks to a truck that was leveling out the parking lot after recent storms caused massive trenches in the dirt. But once I saw what they were doing, I didn't mind the noise as much, and parking here has been a lot nicer ever since. Back home and back to work, I had to fill out my textbook order form for the spring. We are always planning ahead. I recently filled out my teaching request form for next fall. It's weird sometimes to be thinking about future semesters while still teaching the current one, but my writing program is one of the largest in the country, and it takes a lot of planning to get all of our schedules and everything organized. Once teaching was done, it was time to write. It was about 4 p.m. again. I started off by typing up everything I'd handwritten the day before. You don't think the handwriting will amount to much, especially as someone who's pretty slow with handwriting. I can type so much faster. But yesterday's writing ended up being about 800 words. When I type it up, I do add a few things along the way and do some minor tweaking, but it still adds up to a lot. Like, what I added couldn't have been more than 50 words, so it was at least 750 words that I had handwritten. So it's pretty great incentive to bring my notebook out with me when I think I might have at least a few minutes to write. After typing up the 800 handwritten words, I started to write new stuff for the day. So I ended up at just over 2,000 words total, which meant I wrote about 1,200 words that day in addition to what I had typed up from handwriting the day before. And I was really happy with that for a Wednesday. Thursday was another early morning writing session, this time at my desk with a candle and my fairy lights going. I try to keep the lighting low and extra cozy when I'm writing before sunrise. There is something so magical about it that just makes me happy and makes the writing feel special, which writing should feel special. It doesn't have to, not every time, but I'm a firm believer that if you let writing feel like a chore or just a task that needs to get checked off a list for that day, you're not going to enjoy it that much. And that lack of enjoyment and engagement is going to bleed into the writing. When I'm editing one of my books, I can always spot the scenes that I wrote on a bad day. They are never as good. So I love to romanticize writing, especially a first draft, as much as possible and make it super cozy and magical. On this day, I got 800 words written, which was pretty good for a Thursday. Once I finished, it was time to eat breakfast and watch a bit of YouTube and do some social media scrolling. As much as I love writing, I do need complete downtime in the morning before I start my teaching work. Once I was ready for the day, it was time for my virtual office hours on Zoom and working from home for a couple of hours. More emails, more grading, more admin. This week I also had a lot of rough drafts that I was reviewing and giving feedback on for students. But grading makes up the bulk of my days, most days. Especially when teaching a condensed session like I currently am. The turnaround, they turn in things twice as fast, so there's always something to grade. And if I get even a little bit behind, it can be pretty catastrophic to my overall productivity and my ability to get any writing done on a day. After taking a bit of a break for lunch, it was time to go to campus. On Thursdays, I go straight to the classroom. It was a beautiful day on campus this day. Class went really well, and I enjoyed a quiet walk back to my car that evening. Fridays are my wild card day. Each one is a little different from week to week. This Friday, I started work early at around 7 a.m. I wanted to be able to finish early so that I could have more time to write. At this point, I still thought maybe, just maybe, I would finish this draft by the end of the week. So I got an early start on teaching work. took a quick break to go do my grocery shopping. I'm so excited to see all the Christmas decorations going up. It was only Halloween on this day, but they'd already started putting up the garlands on the light posts in the parking lot. When I say I squealed with joy, I am not exaggerating. Once I got my groceries for the week, plus a coffee and a pastry, it was time to go back home and finish up teaching work for the week. Thankfully, there wasn't much left to do. I caught up on all the remaining grading, looked at a few more drafts, replied to a bunch of emails, and then it was finally time to write. I lit my project candle, which is getting to the bottom, but just in time as I'm nearly done with the book, so I kind of timed that perfectly. I have been loving this project so much. So for those who don't know, the Across the Pond series is a contemporary romance series set in London. This is book 5 of that series, or will be book 5 when it's published. I love being in London as I'm writing, fictionally of course, mentally in London, as I'm writing in the Across the Pond world and in this series. I love these two main characters so much. I haven't revealed who they are in the vlogs yet. I will soon, but I have revealed all of that information over on Patreon for my Patreon subscribers. Link to sign up for Patreon is in the description box below. Things got pretty rough for these two characters in the last few chapters, but things are about to turn around for them. It is a romance after all, and it wouldn't be a romance without a happily ever after. But as every romance author knows, that happy ending doesn't feel as magical or special, or the payoff just isn't quite as good if you don't make your characters suffer just a little bit first. Poor things. While I had hoped to finish the first draft this week, it didn't quite work out that way. I ran out of time and I really didn't want to rush the ending, both from a plot perspective, but also from a writing experience perspective. I really like making that last writing session for a first draft feel extra special. But I did finish chapter 23 and start chapter 24, and I got a good way into chapter 24. So all that's left is to finish the final chapter and write the epilogue. I also wrote over 2,000 words again in this day. So all in all, I'd say it was a pretty productive day. It was also a productive week. Across all 5 days, I wrote a total of 7,321 words, which is one of the most productive weeks I've had in this project, I think. I feel like for most of the weeks, I was lucky if I hit like 5,000. 6,000 was really good. I've only had a few weeks where I've done over like 6,000, so I was really happy with this. The book is now also just over 100,000 words, which means I should definitely finish the book, the manuscript, within my 110,000 word goal for the project. I know. I write long romances. I wrote a little bit past 5 p.m. today, but I was in the zone, and once I knew I could at least get within striking distance of the end, I didn't want to stop until I got into chapter 24, and then far enough into chapter 24 that I've kind of set up the big moment of the final chapter, the kind of final big scene and big discussion between the two main characters. So I'm really excited to sit down and finish it. I hope you've enjoyed spending this week writing with me, and I hope you enjoyed this slightly different format for a writing routine video. Let me know what you thought of the whole voiceover thing. If you made it this far, please leave me a laptop or writing related emoji in the comments. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I would really appreciate both of those things, as they both do help my channel and videos do better in the algorithm. I know every YouTuber says that, but it is true. In the comments, I'd love to hear your writing routine, and if you have any questions about mine and anything I've talked about in this video, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, links to all of my things, my newsletter, my Patreon, and all of my books are in the description box if you feel so inclined to check them out. Okay, that's a wrap for this vlog, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon in the next one. Bye!